I have finished chapter 31, and we got some catching up to do, and I might have a theory, but I'm not super confident in it, but we'll get to it. I love this kind of like idiot Hoyd. It's so good. But it was mentioned that the captain traded to get him on her crew, and traded a different crew to get Hoyd, which is really interesting. And I'm curious as to why, because it doesn't seem like he's useful to her at all. But yeah, because he was cursed, I suppose, that she wanted him. Which honestly made me think originally that maybe the captain was the sorceress, but now I don't think that anymore. Ooh, change of lighting. Also, Hoyd stopping in the middle of his story to talk about, like, she stopped and reconsidered. That is amazing. More people should stop and think for a second and comment. And just Hoyd going off about how he wished more heroes stopped and thought for a second, and it would save them so much time. That was just really funny. And then she's talking to him, and he's just like, yeah, I ate a whole watermelon once, and it gave me diarrhea. And they're like, okay, Hoyd. I love this. He also mentioned that socks with sandals are monstrous, and I agree. And so there were midnight spores in a little like container underneath the bed in Tress's new room, which is interesting. And then they meet this other crew, and they're like about to fight back, and the captain shoots herself in the head, and it doesn't do anything because she's full of spores. And she was constantly, the reason she's drinking water all the time is because she was like watering the spores inside of her. That's crazy. And so cool. And then Ulam and Hoyd were talking about like different kinds of spores and stuff, and he mentions aether. Like the different spores of like the aether is like the power of it, which is really interesting because I could be misremembering, but I'm pretty sure the aether is like what Twin Soul was doing with like the ghost bloods and stuff. So pretty neat. And now they were talking about like Zysis or whatever. It's like a dragon that lives underneath the Crimson Sea in a palace and has for like 300 years. That is so cool. I love this. I hope we get to meet him. How cool would that be? Like, how's she going to get to the bottom? And there's a dragon there. Assuming the story's real. Maybe it's not. But now, and this is uncharacteristic for me, and I have no proof of this, but I don't like theorizing because I'm like always wrong. But if I'm right, I kind of don't want to be right. But you know, it's like I lose either way. But Huck, this rat, this talking rat, they mention it's like a familiar. They're like, okay, well, familiar, you know, is like a thing. But he starts talking about, he's like, yeah, I'm a familiar, you know, whatever. And then he said that people that are cursed can't talk about their curses. And you got to like find a way around it to like admit that they're cursed. And he said he was cursed by the sorceress. So I'm like, okay. Okay, so this rat is cursed by the sorceress. Okay. And he mentioned that he comes from a place that's very similar to where Tress is from. And he mentioned that his family or whatever took him away from there. And also, he's very fond of Tress. Like, wants to be around her all the time. I don't know how the sorceress's curses work. I don't know if this is like a cultivation type of thing, or to what extent the curses work, you know? Because, you know, Hoyd lost his sense of taste, you know, which I guess is a little more inclined or more in line with, you know, like losing your memories or never getting old, or you're either smart or you're compassionate, one of the two, where those are like mainly mental stuff. So I don't know like how drastic a curse can be, or if it can, I don't know, turn people into things that aren't people. if you're picking up what I'm laying down here. I'm just saying, a lot of this is starting to kind of looking like a little something. Looking like maybe somebody, isn't dead and is instead a rat. I don't know. I have no proof. We'll find out. This book is awesome.